Alright, people of the internet, welcome back to my channel. And of course, you know the title, you know what I'm going to talk about. So I'll not waste any more of your time. All I will say is, like, subscribe, all of that. And also stick around to the end of the video because there are some things that I wanted to talk about regarding a video that was supposed to come out instead of this. So yeah, let's get into the actual topic. Now, why do I feel Ubisoft is screwed now? It's because if you look at Ubisoft over the period of 10 years, let's say now it's 2024, yeah? Let's look from 2014 onwards. For the last decade, I have seen very few Ubisoft titles that are actually good. Now, if any publisher does that, they are going to be screwed. A publisher like Ubisoft, who like churns out games like 2 or 3 games every single year and still they haven't had a good release, like more than 2 or 3 good releases, that's very concerning. And so let's start with Ubisoft's cash cow, Assassin's Creed. Now, if you guys know anything about this channel, you know I'm very passionate about Assassin's Creed and Barcelona. But yeah, Assassin's Creed though. I have been discontent with the franchise for a while now. And if you are someone who is among the newer fans of the series, you enjoyed the RPGs, that's fine. I'm not talking about that. You can enjoy the RPGs, you can like the older games. Hell, I know some people who like both. I'm not one of those people, just to be clear. So my point is that Ubisoft themselves do not really understand the franchise anymore. And that is the biggest concern I have moving forward with Ubisoft, is because if you don't even understand what you're trying to make, the hell are you supposed to do then? What are you making? And that has been the case for them since pretty much 2015. With Unity, there was a clear vision, right? This is what we want. We want a next gen Assassin's Creed. Everything is like miles ahead. We are going to new animations. Did it work properly? No, it did not. It had a lot of flaws, a lot of logical issues as well. Like with the parkour system, I feel the older parkour system gives you much more freedom, like pre-AC3. Even AC3 has a lot more freedom than Unity does. But okay, I'm going to specifics. I don't want to go into specifics in this video. The point being, Ubisoft is always, trying to do something else, trying to chase trends rather than make trends, which is something that they did before. Games that are coming out now in 2024 are still compared to Assassin's Creed. When Ghost of Yotei was revealed, people were like, yeah, we are not interested in Assassin's Creed anymore because we have a better one. It's not that, I'm not saying that people don't like Ghost of Tsushima for what it is. Of course they do. I like Ghost of Tsushima for what it is. It's not Assassin's Creed, but it scratches that itch. It just about scratches that itch to the point where even I am thinking of ditching Assassin's Creed for it. I mean, we don't really need to ditch anything. I mean, you can buy both games, that's fine. But my point being, like, people generally still praise these games, even though these games are inspired by the original, way back in 2007, 2009 with Assassin's Creed 1 and 2. That's how forward-thinking Ubisoft used to be. So then what the hell happened to them? What the hell happened to that Ubisoft? Why are they so risk-averse that they refuse to try anything new? Is what I would say, except that they do try new things and they make some damn good games. But I'm going to get to that later. Let's talk about Assassin's Creed first though. So my point being, there is no innovation in this franchise. It's basically the same game. If you look at Shadows, you look at Odyssey, you look at Valhalla. Yes, inherently there are differences. There are some improvements being done, but there is no change to the formula. If you look at what they already leaked for Assassin's Creed Shadows, the story once again is going to be non-linear. Non-linear gameplay does not work if you're trying to tell one single coherent story. We have seen this time and again. I have said this time and again. And if Ubisoft still doesn't understand this, they deserve to have a game in their hand which no one actually wants to play. It happened with Odyssey. It happened with Valhalla. It's going to happen with Shadows again. And if you don't believe me, it also happened with Star Wars Outlaws. Again, a game that I'm going to get to. And this is my fundamental problem with Ubisoft. They don't really understand the kind of games that people want from them versus the kind of games that they are actually making. People right now are laser focused on this new hotness that we have in our society right now. Wokeness. It's not a new thing, it's an old thing. But recently a lot of grifters have picked this up, and every single game that comes out, if it's not a traditional, I shouldn't even say traditional, just a default white guy protagonist, they are immediately outraged. It can be literally anything. In fact, I'm not even sure you can have a standard white guy anymore without these people bitching about it. They will find a way to bitch about it. It could even be a side character and they would still bitch about it. They are that good at grifting. But my message to the people would be, please use your own head. This is not that hard to understand. Do the game suck now? Yes, I am with you on that. But this is not the reason. If you put some tits on a character and just big ones, it's not going to improve the game. All it's going to do is make you want to look at that for about 30 seconds. That's it. That is it. I am telling you this. Trust me on this. You are not going to care about that character for any longer than that. You know why I know this? You know, there's this game that came out called The Last Descendant or The First Descendant. Something like that. Something Descendant. I don't even fucking remember the name of that game. But it had some revealing character traits. When I say revealing, you know what kind of revealing I mean. And well, there was some idiot who recently shared something about that. And like that game, the game came out. Okay, it's a cute looking character with some revealing stuff. I am a guy after all. Of course I tried it. But then I played for about 15 minutes. I was done. The character design being sexy enough is not going to carry your game. What is going to carry your game is whatever the game is for. Is it about the story? Is it about the gameplay? The most important thing in any game is the gameplay. And if you don't focus on it, doesn't matter if your character is good or bad. You can give me the ugliest possible character. You can have me in the game. I wouldn't care as long as the gameplay is good. I would still play it. Now let's get to the actual problem then. So if it's not that, then what is the problem? The problem is Ubisoft deciding structure over actual gameplay and art. With Ubisoft, it's always about the structure. You look at any of their games in the last 5 to 7 years, it's always all been about structure. You have this one gameplay loop and everything needs to fit into that gameplay loop. I'll give you an example. Look at Watch Dogs 2. With Watch Dogs 2, it's a standard affair. You start a mission, that mission has like about 4 or 5 parts. You keep going through every part almost does the same thing, and then you come out. The reason why I still like Watch Dogs 2 is because I actually enjoy the gameplay. Now you look at something like Assassin's Creed Odyssey. Now again, this is not a critique of Odyssey. That video is going to come out later. You look at Assassin's Creed Odyssey, something that I've been playing recently. I wanted to give the game a second chance. And I did realize some of my mistakes and my critiques when I played the game. I made some mistakes and I want to rectify those because honestly, I haven't even made a video about it. Sorry. So my point being, I played that game and the one thing that I came out of it and came forward to me was that the game is bloated. That part hasn't changed. And the game is very restrictive in what you can do. You can basically do nothing. There is no form of player expression. Even the combat doesn't really let you express things. The abilities that you are using in the combat, it's almost not even a choice. You have to use those abilities. Otherwise, your combat will keep dragging on from 10 minutes to 30. So if you want to use combat effectively, you are going to use those abilities. It's not part of your style. Going stealthy is not part of your style because there are barely any stealthy mechanics. So then what am I doing? I'm just riding a horse from one place to another. I'm rowing a ship from one place to another. I'm going somewhere killing people in an RPG. Where are the dialogue choices? Where are the choices in the story that actually matter? There are some. Again, I'll talk about those in the critique because some of them really did impress me. So I'm going to talk about those. But where are the choices in gameplay? This is an RPG we are talking about. If they wanted to, they could have had a proper speech system. Let us infiltrate an Athenian fort wearing Athenian armor using just social stealth. Why is that not possible? Social stealth doesn't just mean standing in the middle of a crowd and trying to look inconspicuous. That's not what social stealth is. Social stealth is being low profile enough so that people don't know what you're doing. I mean, fucking Hitman does it so well. If you want to take inspirations, there are other games that have done it and done it better than Assassin's Creed. But no, they did the bare fucking minimum to call it a day. It's essentially a very cheap Witcher clone that they sort of put into Assassin's Creed. The reason why I'm saying this is because this is consistent with everything Ubisoft has done for the last 10 years. Off the top of my head, I can think of maybe 2 or 3 games, or 4 maybe, that Ubisoft has done that is genuinely innovative. And out of those, 1 sucked. So I'm going to talk about all 3. So Watch Dogs 2, in my opinion, is really, 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 really good. It's an elite level game. The reason why I say that is because, yes, is the story good? Unless T-Bone comes into the story wasn't really going anywhere. But the commentary that it made about our world, well, it's spot on. It's happening in our world right now. So all of that is fine. But the gameplay, the amount of choice that is offered to you in gameplay, you don't even need to enter a building to complete a mission. You know, it's a standard thing in games, right? You go in somewhere, your character has to go in somewhere, you do something, then you complete the mission, you kill people. That's how games have worked, usually in this genre. But you don't even need to go in. All you need to do is send your drone in, your jumper in, and that's fine. That's why I love the game. You do whatever it is that you want. There is so much interactivity with the environment. There is so much interactivity with the NPCs. Everything in the world feels alive, is well designed. And that's why I feel like it's an elite level game. The other game which I feel is absolutely elite level is Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Siege. Now, this is another I want to focus on as a focus of this video, because this is another negative point, and this is another reason why Ubisoft is failing. Now, Rainbow Six Siege, if you knew this, you know that this is their second biggest cash cow. Rainbow Six Siege has been going strong since about 2017, since the extraction. Was it 2017 extraction event? I don't remember. No, not extraction. I can't remember the biohazard one with Lion and Finca. How can I not remember this, man? It doesn't matter. The point is, the game has been going strong for a while now. But Ubisoft is intent on killing this game, with creative decisions and with their absolutely moronic ideas. I mean, who the fuck decided to remove Vulkan from PC? I am someone who regularly plays Rainbow Six Siege. I am someone, yes, I will never reach the top 1% of the game. I am not that good with FPSs. And I still fucking love this game. It's because the game is unique. There is no other game like Rainbow Six Siege. There is literally no other game like Rainbow Six Siege. Many people have tried, none have succeeded so far. There is no other game like Rainbow Six Siege. It is a unique game just standing on its own. And that is why people still want to play the game. But guess what, Ubisoft? I can't fucking play the game anymore. Because you fucking broke it for me. They removed Vulkan. They have a DX12 implementation now. Now, if you're not technical, let me explain this to you. Vulkan is an API. DX12 is a similar API. What APIs do is they allow your graphics card to essentially communicate and render whatever it is they're doing through that API. Graphics card only calculate what pixel is going to be where. They still have to translate this information and send it forward. That's why they use APIs. It's not an exact definition, but I'm kind of boiling it down a little bit. I know it's not the exact definition. But that's what it's happening. But what happened here is that implementation of DX12 is so much worse than Vulkan that the game just doesn't run well. Now, if I put Rainbow Six Siege on my computer screen right now, if you look at the average FPS, you would probably think, yeah, you are getting like 10 more FPS. That's great, right? Except it doesn't matter, because in a game like Siege, it doesn't matter how high the FPS can go. It does matter to some extent, but it doesn't matter that much. As long as it is hitting the refresh rate of my monitor, anything more than that is just bonus. You don't really need that. But guess what? The bigger problem is the stutters that are happening now, thanks to DX12. Now the game just randomly stutters. I'm trying to aim at some guy's head and suddenly my character model, so like my gun goes here, stutters, and then comes here. By the time I'm aiming at the guy, I'm already dead. It has happened multiple times to the point where I've just stopped playing. Or the only other option is going back to DX11, which doesn't have DLSS, which doesn't have reflex, and that for a competitive shooter is an absolutely moronic thing to happen. How do you have a game that is literally making you this much money and you fuck it up this badly? This is my only question to whoever is the project manager of the current live service part of the game. I really want to understand this. Whose moronic idea it was to remove Vulkan, which was working perfectly fine. I do not care that you think that DX12 will help you with the development costs. Absorb those costs. As a company, as a game that is making you that amount of money, you absorb those costs because that helps the player to actually play the damn game. I was spending money on your game. I was buying your battle passes. Now you don't have my money. And that is the biggest problem with Ubisoft. They don't understand what their players want. They think they are doing the right thing and they have no notion of what actually is right. Now, this is just two of their cash cows. Let's talk about their other franchises. Ubisoft is a company that has so many IPs under them. They have Rayman, they have Watch Dogs, they have Division, they have Prince of Persia. This is just some of the more recent IPs. Okay, Rayman is not recent. The reason why I included Rayman in there is because there hasn't been a Rayman game in... I don't even fucking know. It's been a while. Prince of Persia, as I talked about, they did release a game. It was an absolutely fantastic game. But guess what? People didn't play it. Because people don't trust that when they spend those $50, which by the way, the game should have costed less. In my opinion, it should have been $40, not $50. But fine, whatever, it's your game, you price it. If people actually had trust in Ubisoft, I do believe Prince of Persia would have done better. Because the game is a damn good game. It is one of my games that are on track to win Game of the Year. It is that good. But half the people don't even know that the game exists. The other half that do know either didn't buy it because it was on Epic and you play on PC, or they didn't buy it because they simply do not trust Ubisoft to deliver a fantastic game. It's that simple. You're not going to spend $50 on a genre that honestly is not that common with people. 2D platformers, they aren't that popular anymore. Now, you could say that they should be more popular, the people should play them more. I would agree with you, but the facts are it is just not. So already you are aiming for a genre that is not that popular. That's fine. You can still aim. And I like that Ubisoft at least tried to make that game. So yeah, my hats off to the people who actually made Prince of Persia, The Lost Crown. But then of course came the reports that they are now moved on from the project and there is not going to be a sequel for the game. So excellent job, Ubisoft. You actually did create a good game for once. Yes, it didn't sell well, but there was potential there. And it is your job as the leaders of this company to understand that potential and fulfill it. Understand the limitations of the game and overcome those limitations. That is your job. Instead, what you're doing is you're canceling the one good thing that came out of you in the last 5 years. So good job there, Ubisoft. If so far you understood the theme of this video, it is that every decision that Ubisoft has taken with every single one of their franchise has been downright awful. Every single time they try to do something good, they either abandon it immediately or they will just chase some trends and just try to make those games instead. Well, let me put a contrasting view here. Assume that we are back in 2007. You have revealed a game called Assassin's Creed. It's not Prince of Persia. Prince of Persia, the game that everybody loves, that you make, it's not that. It's a spin-off from that because you were making a different game and this just made sense. This game comes out, people like it, but they don't like it that much. You know what modern Ubisoft would do? They would kill that game. If Ubisoft, what they're doing right now is what they did 15, 16 years ago, Assassin's Creed as a franchise just simply wouldn't exist. Because that's what they done. If the game has slightly middling reviews, if the game is not that well done or not that well in the sales department, yeah, that's it. Just abandon that or make it something more trendy, like whatever is happening in the market right now. The fact that they didn't do that, the fact that they stuck with Assassin's Creed, the fact that they listened to actually what the people were trying to tell them and actually made those changes, that's why the franchise exists right now. And that is what Ubisoft needs to do first and foremost. It is to understand what people want from their franchise. I am someone who loves Assassin's Creed. I am someone who will die for Rainbow Six Siege. I have 2000 hours. Okay, that's not much considering I'm a gamer who plays a lot. 2000 hours is not much. But it's still a damn lot. That's more than any other game that I've played. It's more than the entirety of Assassin's Creed combined. That's how long I've been playing Rainbow Six Siege. But guess what? I'm not playing Rainbow Six Siege anymore. Assassin's Creed Shadows barely interests me now. Because I know the parkour is going to suck. I know the story is going to be that non-linear mess which doesn't connect to each other. So then what's the bloody point? If you can't even convince me, the guy who will literally pay you for free, just release a game and I'll pay you. If you can't even convince me to buy your game, how the hell are you going to convince the people who actually don't want to buy your game? Because those people far outnumber people like me. You don't need to convince me. You need to convince them. You aren't even doing a good job at that. And so that is the fundamental problem that Ubisoft has. They have lost touch with reality. They have no idea what they're doing. Their franchises are in ice because literally Watch Dogs is dead now. Yes, the movie is coming out. They'll probably put a remaster out there or something like that. Far Cry, I don't even know where they are going to go with that. Splinter Cell, yes, there is a remake being made, but we don't know how good that remake will be. Rainbow Six, yes, we have a multiplayer, but where is the single player Rainbow Six game? You have so many like fantastic operators now. The lore is moving in a really good direction with Demos returning. I mean, Gerald Morris returning. Now we have, I forget her name. Another operator from the original Rainbow Six cast has now, Kure Galanos has now returned. The lore is actually moving in such a great direction. So why not make a single player Rainbow Six game? See, this is not something I should tell you. This is something you as a business person should know, that if there is demand for something, then you should make that game because people will buy and play it. People will buy a single player Rainbow Six game. Yes, people might not want to spend $60 on it. So reduce the budget of the game, reduce the scope of the game, make it a linear game that is $40, make it like a 10-15 hour experience. That is fine. People will buy it. I will buy it. You don't need to make 100-200 hour experiences with every single game. Not every single game is about reach. I know I'm speaking directly to Ubisoft right now rather than talking about what Ubisoft is doing wrong, but I genuinely want them to do better. They seem to be trying to do better now that they are bringing Steam releases day one. They removed that idiotic early access, because why should I have to pay more to play the game early, which is going to be broken anyway because modern gaming, hello. So yeah, they seem like they're taking steps in the right direction, but I feel it's already too late. They have screwed the customers far too long. They have delivered products that are middling at best and really bad at worst. And it is high time that we talk about it. It's high time that we start thinking about Ubisoft games as just games that people just don't play anymore. So anyway, that was my rant. And now that we are at the end of the video, do let me know down in the comments below. I know I lost it with the Rainbow Six thing because that was really pissing me off. That was one of the reasons this video exists, because I did try to play Rainbow Six Siege and it didn't fucking work. So that, and also, you know, like the video, subscribe for more. And now to the things that I was going to talk about. So just a quick update. I did say that an Odyssey video was going to come out, but it's not going to come out today because I finished Odyssey late last night, actually early today morning, with the cult ending and everything. All the endings are done. I have now labeled all the files, but by the time I was done with just tagging every single video file, there are like 300 separate files now. Right now I still need to write the script, then record, then edit, and then put it live. All of that before dinner, because after dinner I'll watch the match, El Clasico, and then I have to catch a flight. So it's not possible for that video to come out now, but I will be making that video back when I return back in November. So expect a video around November 15-ish. That's going to be the Odyssey video. There is another video apart from that, and of course I'll try and stream Dragon Age Veilguard as soon as I get back. So all that said, guys, thank you for joining me, and I'll leave you guys in peace.